What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking our favorite late round picks to conclude your 2024 fantasy football draft. So sit back, relax, enjoy. If you do, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comment section. You agree, disagree, along with any other questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let's get right into it. And as you can see, we have got our 2024 fantasy football draft rankings pulled up here via fantasypros on a PPR basis. This is as of early July. And as I mentioned before, these are all late round names. So basically starting at 100th overall and later, late round picks towards the end of your drafts that have immense value. So without further ado, let's kick it off. And as I mentioned, this is starting at pick 100 or later. So as of right now, coming in at 100, right at that mark, is Zack Moss, running back of the Cincinnati Bengals. I've mentioned his name before, and I think that he is a tremendous late round running back. Right now, ranked running back 31. But look, there are a lot of opportunities here for the Cincinnati Bengals in this backfield that just produced a top 10 running back performance for Joe Mixon in 2023. The only real competition here for Zack Moss is Chase Brown. Now, it seems like some of the folks in fantasy football this year are kind of split on this backfield. Do you take a chance on Zack Moss? Do you take a chance on Chase Brown? And, I think that I probably sway more Zack Moss. The biggest reason being, I'm really worried about the pass protection abilities of one Chase Brown. And knowing the injury history of Joe Burrow, you got to think the Bengals are going to say, hey, look, we want a running back that can hold his own when it comes to asking of him to be able to hold up during those pass protection situations. And to me, Zack Moss gets a big advantage there. Also, look at the performances last year. Zack Moss is coming off a tremendous season where he got the job done in Indianapolis, filling in for Jonathan Taylor very, very admirably. And I think the Bengals saw that and said, hey, look, sure, we've already got Chase Brown, but Zack Moss went right ahead, brought him in, and afterwards, they haven't really done all that much. Didn't do anything major in the draft, didn't make any trades, didn't do anything like that. And I do think Zack Moss is somebody that after last year, being able to have the chance to be the guy, years prior in Buffalo, he always had to split some time with whoever was there. It's going to be a situation where he has the leg up. He's coming off the better season. The Bengals specifically went out and targeted him. I think he's going to get the early opportunities to shine here. And again, paired with what he can do as a pass protector, I really do think that will give him an advantage in this situation. I'm just not all that impressed by Chase Brown. For me, Zack Moss is the better play, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities in this backfield. So I think this is going to be a very high-scoring offense, and I think Zack Moss is going to have the bigger upside here, the safer floor as well. And typically in situations like these, it's the person that has the hotter hand, that's the more steadying force, that is given the edge throughout the season. To me, that will be Zack Moss. And I think he can continue his hot season from 2023 and parlay it into a successful 2024 run on top of that. But let's continue on here to another name that I'm a big fan of. Coming at number 2 on our list is one Aaron Rodgers of the New York Jets. Quarterback 20 right now, comes in at spot 118. And honestly, I think this is way too low, but I get it. Look, recency bias last year, If you went Aaron Rodgers, well, nothing like having an Achilles injury in the first series of the first game to end your season, to go ahead and really burn you. So I get it. Aaron Rodgers is also, another year older, coming off a serious injury and on a new team. I mean, the last time we saw him play was with the Green Bay Packers. But what I can say in defense of all of this, you look at the talent surrounding him. I think this is arguably the best offense that he's ever had in terms of playmakers. One of the big worries that the Jets had was that offensive line. They upgraded it via free agency and via the draft. So I feel a lot better about that situation. And everything that I said last year about Aaron Rodgers, I feel like you can just kind of copy and paste into this year. I see Aaron Rodgers as, the situation where Tom Brady went from the Patriots to the Bucs in a win now mode type of deal, where Rodgers still, even though at an older age, has at least another year or two left in him. He's getting drafted way too late because of age, because of some sexier young quarterbacks. But when it's all said and done, I think more likely than not, he is easily going to be a top 10 fantasy quarterback. He's got Garrett Wilson. He has Breece Hall. He also has, a new addition like Mike Williams. As long as he can stay healthy, a big-bodied wide receiver. I feel good about this offense, and I think the Jets are in a situation where they're going to give Aaron Rodgers every single opportunity to be successful. There's no way where, I look at some of these names that are ahead of him and I think that, okay, they're going to have a better situation. Like Justin Herbert, you look at the weapons there, it's a little bit scary. Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback. Sure, he's got the rushing upside, but again, I like the weapons with the Jets better. I like the pedigree and the previous results from Aaron Rodgers better. Caleb Williams, again, he's a rookie quarterback. All those things scare me a little bit. So basically, I say all of that to, again, highlight Aaron Rodgers can be an absolute steal. I personally have him as a top 12 quarterback this season. Assuming he stays healthy, he's going to be one of the steals at the position. Moving on to the number 3 name on our list, Jerome Ford of the Cleveland Browns. Comes in at running back 38, 125 overall. And it's only a matter of time until Jerome Ford just shoots up draft boards. The reason I say that is because I really am of the mindset that Nick Chubb, his serious knee injury from last year, is one where he's going to have issues coming back from 100% and coming back from early. Typically, it's in these off-season camp type of situations where you start to hear positive feedback. You get your optimism and there's rumors, Nick Chubb is going to be back before week 1. Nick Chubb is going to be back for the majority of the season. We haven't heard that coming out of Cleveland. What we do know is that when Nick Chubb went down last year, Jerome Ford was the guy. Jerome Ford was a top 20 running back. And again, on this offense, a lot of opportunities. I think he can do it again. He's going to be the top name here in this backfield. He was given every opportunity last season. It shouldn't be any different in 2024. Now, this might change if we hear some, unprecedented news between now and August or September. But the way Chubb and others have been mum about his comeback really does give me some concerns. And I think before we know it, Jerome Ford is going to be shooting up those boards. Now, afterwards, after Jerome Ford, I should say, I'm looking to Curtis Samuel of the Buffalo Bills. A lot of people are going to point to his counterpart, Keon Coleman, the rookie wide receiver. And I agree, he's a nice upside pick. I could have very easily have mentioned him instead of Curtis Samuel, but I think people are kind of sleeping on Curtis Samuel, to be honest with you guys. So I wanted to highlight him a little bit more. So the last couple of years, he's been, a sneaky maybe flex play in Washington with subpar quarterback play. He's the most experienced wide receiver on this Buffalo staff, and he has got the best quarterback of his career in Josh Allen. a lot of pressure to be putting on Keon Coleman right out of the gate. Whereas Curtis Samuel, I feel like he's an older vet. He's probably going to go like 2-3 rounds later after Keon Coleman because Keon Coleman is the first round rookie. A lot of people want to take chances on those guys and shoot for the stars. I get it. I just think when it's all said and done, Curtis Samuel won't be all that far removed from Keon Coleman. He's going to be more of a steady force. And I wouldn't be shocked if he leads all the Buffalo wide receivers here, ends up being a decent flex play. And, you can get him at even cheaper than Keon Coleman. So to me, that screams value. And I would be targeting him in the later rounds for basically free. And then finally, I've got Josh Palmer of the LA Chargers. Really similar situation to Curtis Samuel and Keon Coleman. Everyone prefers Ladd McConkey, and I get it. Similar type of situation. Early draft capital. Everyone for the Chargers is gone. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. There have been good reports coming out of LA about him. But would you be shocked if Josh Palmer ends the season being the number one wide receiver for the Chargers? I wouldn't be at all. He has had proven success when guys like Williams and Keenan Allen were out in years prior. He has been the number one guy for Justin Herbert before. He's been that steadying, reliable force. And sure, he won't put up numbers like Keenan Allen or like Mike Williams, but I think he can be a really, really solid number two. Maybe Ladd McConkey ends up kind of breaking out towards the end of the year, but I think when it's all said and done, you look at the entirety of 2024, the chances that Josh Palmer has more fantasy points is probably a little bit higher. I think that he is going to be more often than not the primary target for this offense. And I look at him, he can be that red zone target as well. I like Josh Palmer. At this point in time, he's the most veteran and proven wide receiver that the Chargers have. There's something to be said about that. And I think we should pump the brakes on all these rookie wide receiver breakouts immediately out of the gate. But with that, we wrap up this breakdown of our favorite late round selections that have tremendous value for this 2024 fantasy football season. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comment section, agree, disagree, along with any other questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, we'll see you guys in future videos.